Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel for today's swatch party. You already saw from the title of this video, we are going to be swatching all of my CLIONADH round pan bundles that I got in the recent restock. I have 3 of the bundles to share with you and 1 little extra shadow that I just seemed to need because let's see, 21 shades just wasn't enough, I guess. So we're gonna be going through swatching all of those shades together, and I will also be doing an eye look with you. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into all the details on these bundles and our swatch party. Now, the day that I am filming this, it does look like all of these bundles are still in stock on the CLIONADH website. If you are curious to pick one of these up after you see the swatches, I will make sure to have the CLIONADH website down below so you can check the description box. And again, I'll have my bundles listed. So let's go ahead and talk deets. These are $39.16 and there are 7 shadows in each bundle, which I think really breaks down to a decent price for these. And they are so very pretty. So here are the shades that I have. I was feeling it. I was feeling a little vibe here. You can see, like, especially with these, they're kind of similar. This is my one little lonely guy, but these are 2 of the bundles. And then I did go ahead and pick up something that's a little different for me. If you guys know me, I'm not a big wearer of blues and purples, and this is exactly why I wanted to pick up a set that's a little bit different so that I am not constantly putting on the same 5 eye shades all the time. Now, I am very excited to get into these. I do have a few stained glass shadows that I picked up in the last restock, I believe it was, and they are very, very pretty. Different from these. I mean, the stained glass is obviously much more expensive, so you have a completely different formula, or formulas, I should say, but these look very, very pretty, and I will say I have used a couple of these because 2 of them went into my recent BYOP Sunset Edition. I will make sure to have that link down below if you guys are curious in seeing my Sunset palette that I curated along with Beauty and the Frizz. So I have used 2 of them, but other than that, I don't think I've even swatched most of these. So this is a new to me formula. I'm very excited to try them, but I can tell you that there are some duochromes, some beautiful metallics here. So even though they're not stained glass, they are still very pretty and very special. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so we can start swatching. All right, here we have our first bundle. This is the Mojave bundle, and I'm going to be going this way as we read off the descriptions of these colors. So we have Orb. I'm reading this right off of the CLIONADH website. This is a beautiful green transformer with a lime green shift. Can be used as a topper or on its own. And this looks really, really pretty. Then we have Salamander. This shade I have actually used because it's in my BYOP. This is a coral-based duochrome eyeshadow with a gold reflect. And Salamander really is so very pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but it has this beautiful, like, peachy gold shift. It's so gorgeous. So then Vortex is a cool deep brown based duochrome eyeshadow with a green reflect and aqua sparkle. So this, I mean, it says brown, but I get almost like slightly gray vibes from that, and I think it's the brown meeting in with the teal. It definitely has, to me, more of like a gray shift. And then we have Honeycomb, a warm beige metallic with gold sparkle. So this one, I mean, it could be my skin tone, but this one did take a bit to build up, which doesn't mean anything. I mean, swatches are helpful, but obviously we need to see how these perform on the eye. And then we have Forest Heart, which is so gorgeous. Forest Heart, you stole my heart. This is a teal green metallic and so gorgeous. Then we have Amour, which is an orange-based pink with a duochrome shift and hints of gold. So I'm kind of surprised that they put these in the same bundle because, oh, these meaning Salamander and Amour, because they are obviously not the same, but in a similar story. I mean, Amour is a little darker and more pink and doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have maybe as much sparkle. It's a little bit more like foiled, but I think that they're so similar that if this was in a palette, I would kind of be like, one of these could have been taken out, but that's just me. And then we have Yukon, which is gorgeous. This is an earthy green gold with a metallic finish. So to me, it's like an, I mean, it's an olivey goldy tone. Oh, so pretty. So this is the Mojave bundle. All right, so here we have the Fizzy bundle. Now I have to say right off the bat, after swatching these, I feel like the online pictures of this bundle are a little deceiving, and I will show you guys my swatches compared to what I saw in just a minute. But let's talk about these shadows because they are pretty, even if they aren't quite what I thought I was getting. So we have Alpine, which is a rich blue toned metallic. This is so pretty. I mean, it is like, oh, such a pretty color. And then we have Dahlia, which is a light peach duochrome eyeshadow. This one is very pretty. It's like that peach and it has a little bit of like a gold shift to it. Then we have Soul, which is a pale mustard yellow base duochrome eyeshadow with an aqua reflect. So I'm not sure what kind of mustard they have up in Canada that is this color, but I would say that this is more like a buttercream maybe, but it definitely does have that like aqua shift to it. This is another color that I put into my palette and I really do like it. So then we have Aqua Fortis, which is a turquoise based duochrome eyeshadow with gold reflect and subtle aqua sparkle. So I definitely see the gold reflect. I don't see the aqua as much, but maybe when it's on the eyes, I would see that more. Then we have Honey Crisp, a coral pink satin with a pearly reflect. So this definitely has, I mean, maybe, I guess I wouldn't call that coral. To me, that is definitely like Barbie lipstick pink with a little bit of a reflect. It's very pretty. It's something different than anything else in my collection. And then we have Eye of Newt, a chartreuse-based duochrome eyeshadow with a bright pearlized reflect with hints of sky blue. This is a more subtle duochrome, they say. So this one is so pretty though. I mean, it just definitely has that little bit of glimmer to it. And this is the kind of shade that I would like throw on my inner corner for a pop. It's actually similar to the look that I did recently on Instagram with, what was that, a Copacetic Cosmetics shadow, but this is really pretty and very smooth. And then we have Molten, a light tangerine-based duochrome eyeshadow with a gold reflect. So again, I will put these right here in the middle for you. Very shiny and shifty, but I do want to compare it to that picture from the website. Okay, so I want you guys to see here. Now, obviously the lighting's going to be a little different, but I want you to see this, and then also I'm going to put here the picture from the CLIONADH website. I mean, I just feel, and I'm not disappointed because this makes this set of shadows more different than the Mojave bundle. And I wish that I had like put the Mojave over here and then the Fizzy one on this side so we could see. But you can see these shadows here. These are the Mojave shadows and they have that like earthier feel to them. Whereas these are much brighter and I felt like they looked lighter on the website, but not that much, like, I mean, almost leaning more cool toned, other than obviously the two peaches. But I'm really excited because, like I said, they're different enough, which is good because I bought them and I don't need to have all of the same shade in my collection. So now we're going to move on to the final bundle and then that little single shadow I got. All right, here we have the Meteor Storm bundle. Now this bundle is probably the set of shadows that I think has the least cohesive color story in all honesty, but also shades that are so different for me. But this is maybe my favorite one just because they're very unique. So first we have Snowdrift. This is this light aqua based duochrome eyeshadow with a pink reflect and pink sparkle. And I don't know if you'll be able to see the sparkle. I'm gonna try to like bend so that maybe you can see it. This is really pretty. It is like definitely, because it's such a light pink sparkle up against that light blue, it is very pretty. And then we have Permafrost, a gray-based duochrome eyeshadow with a pink shift. This actually reminds me of one that I got recently from Glam Shop, Frozen Grape. And then we have Char, a bright charcoal metallic, which is definitely a shade that I don't really use a lot, but it'll be nice to have for when, you know, there are those certain looks that I want to create and I need a deep, like, gunmetal shade. And then we have Poinsettia, a deep rustic red metallic. Now I will say this shade, when I went to swatch it, it's not a flaky shadow, but quite a bit like kicked up out of the pan, like a couple larger flakes. So be warned, don't wear a white shirt when you put this one on. And then Crystalline, a cool toned purple duochrome eyeshadow with a lime green reflect. That's another one that has that very fine reflect. Then we have Bonbon, which is a rich berry metallic with a cool purple reflect. That one is very bright. I love it. And then we have Wormwood, which I think those two go together really well. Wormwood is a vampy maroon-based duochrome eyeshadow with a bright turquoise blue reflect and sparkle. All right, so here's another look at the swatches of that Meteor Storm bundle. All right, that was really fun. I enjoyed getting to swatch all of those. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I am sorry if my camera was out of focus at all. I've been trying to like figure things out with the focus, and a couple times I haven't like switched over to the proper focusing method. So I apologize for that. Hopefully there was enough in there, moments where you could catch a glimpse of those swatches. But we are going to get into the eye look now. So where to go and what to create. So we are obviously going to need some mattes. I think I'm just going to pull out this Celebra, which I'm assuming is Celebrate in Polish. So obviously this is from Glam Shop, and I think that there are enough like colorful and neutral mattes in here that I'd be able to play with a few of these shadows from CLIONADH. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this. I also feel like, well, it kind of looks like I'm naked, but I'm not. But I also feel a little bit like my top doesn't really match the vibe of this, but we're gonna make this work. It does not matter. It looks like I'm not wearing anything anyway. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in. We're gonna play with some shadows. I'm excited to try more of these out. Oh, I just realized also the one shade that I didn't swatch for you is Pink Sugar. This is one of their new shades. So here is Pink Sugar. It's definitely more on the pinky side of rose gold though. Like I would not necessarily call this a true like rose gold, but she sure is pretty. So since I was so drawn to the purples, I think that's where we're gonna start out. I just can't decide if I want to go light or more bold. Let's go more bold, what the hell. So I'm gonna take Bonbon and we are going to start with that all over the lid and we'll just go from there. Now I am choosing to wet my brush mostly just for fallout's sake because I do have my face done, so I didn't want to get too crazy. So this Bonbon shade is more of like a satin with tiny little micro reflex. It doesn't have a ton of glitters to it, and it's not like super foily metallic either. That's some pigment though, woo! All right, now I'm going to take Wormwood, which was that deepest duochrome from the final collection, the same one that this shadow is in, but I just want to lay this over the outer part just to see what it looks like topped over the shade. I'm using the same brush, just the other side. And I'm sure if I wanted it to be like super like I could use my finger or a like silicone spatula, but I'm okay with it being just a little bit softer. I'm gonna try to focus more of the bright shade on the inside of the eye, but I will say all of these shadows are fairly soft. So, you know, when you are going to pick up on your brush, don't dig too hard. Just a little warning from me to you. I am already really liking this. Only danger in that is then you're like, oh, but am I gonna screw it up? You know, when you're like, ooh, I love this, and then you go and you put another shade on and you're like, well, that just did it in. All right, now we're gonna take, let's use this Pencil Pro from Sonia G. I'm going to take, again, another shade from this last Meteor bundle. I'm sorry, these ones are all just drawing me in, and you guys have seen me wear all the other colors many times. So this shade was that Snowdrift shade, and I think this is just gonna look so beautiful on that inner corner. You know me, I cannot resist a good pop of color, so we will take that shade. Yeah, these are all fairly soft. I don't want to say dusty because that sounds like they're dry, and they're really not, but they are very soft, so they will get a lot of kick up in the pan, so just be careful. That doesn't really bother me, but for some people it does. That's really pretty. It also like is nice to layer over this shade here, because that shade that I've already forgotten the name of, Bonbon, it doesn't have that much like to it, so you're definitely getting that from this shade that we're layering right now. Very pretty. I am so tempted to like, I'm so tempted to put this over that whole lid, like meeting up with that other shade. Should I do it? Probably. Let's just go ahead and do it. We're just gonna tap this over. Because now I feel like it's so shiny that I feel like now it almost like looks like I put a matte in the middle. And that shade, that Bonbon shade, isn't matte, but it's definitely a more subtle sparkle. Also, please forgive the fact that my eyebrows are fairly naked. I'm going to be doing a Battle of the Brows video right after this, so stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to get my eye look done first before I go through and do my little brow challenge. Whoa. What do you guys think? I like it. I mean, obviously I covered up the intense deepness of that Bonbon shade, but that color is still there, so I'm not mad at that at all. Before I go on and do the lower lash line, I do want to start playing with a few of these mattes just so I can like kind of like rein in the shape here. So I'm going to take this shade here, which I can't pronounce in Polish, and I'm just going to use that in the crease. Obviously I'm wanting the star of the show to be these CLIONADH shades, so this is just going to give us some shape. Okay, so I'm just taking this shade here. It looks like a dusty taupe in the pan, but it on the eyes, and I've used this shade before, it gets like a very like mauve-y, like a much deeper mauve than what it looks like in the pan. That is the one thing I feel like a lot of the Glam Shop mattes, like what they perform like is not what they look like, so you do have to be careful. But I knew what that shade was going to come out like. Now I just want to grab a big fluffy blending brush and almost like blur this out. When in doubt, blend it out with the BK201. I love this. Okay, so now let's try to grab something from a different bundle. You know, it is very rare that I ever wear like pinky pink shades, so I am going to take this shade. This is that Honeycrisp shade from the Fizzy bundle, and I'm going to use that under my lash line. That way we'll have like a little bit more of a bright pop. All right, this is fun, but I also feel like it instantly made me look like I've been crying, like that pink tone, but whatever, you know, you win some, you lose some. What can I say? This is also the second time in a row that I have used a shimmer shade underneath the lash line. I used to do that all the time, and I haven't done it in a really long time. I think what I'm gonna need is like a dark liner in my inner waterline to be able to like get rid of that like tired sick eye look. So we'll get there. And all I'm gonna do is, I wasn't sure if I wanted a different shade in the inner corner down here, but I think I'm just gonna take that original blue shade from the inner corner and just wrap that around. But this is really cool because from the front it looks like I have a tiny dab of pink just from the duochrome properties of this, and that is super fun and pretty. I don't know, this just gives me like fairy face vibes. I don't even know what that means. I thought about using a shade as a highlight, but I just feel like these eyes are so glowy and shifty that I want to keep the face fairly neutral. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do those brows. I'm also going to do my mascara. You know the drill. All right, lovelies. Final look. I have brows now. Can you guys see a difference in the sides? I have the Anastasia Brow Wiz on one side and the Refi Brow Sculpt on the other. So you'll have to let me know if you see a brow that you like better, but that video will be coming out very soon. So the eyeshadows. So it's been actually a hot minute since I left you. I went and got a coffee, talked to Jeremy for a little bit, and I just have to say I love this look. It is grungy smoky because it's like smudgy, but the colors are very like ethereal Disney princess. So it's like grungy Disney princess, and I am here for it. I really like it. I have to say, I think that these bundles are well worth it. For 7 shadows for around $39, that's about $5.60 a piece, and I think that these are worth it. Do I think... So there's obviously a big difference between these and the stained glass collection. Granted, the stained glass are like triple, if not more, for a few shades in price. These still have some beautiful shiny shift. There's definitely some unique qualities to these shades. But I also find that if you're a person where you like to have multiple shadows on your lid space, you're going to lose the super shifty shades anyway because there's not enough time for them to like pass over a curved surface. So if you like to have multiple shades, just a duochrome or something that has a little bit of kick to it is going to be enough for you because you're going to get some of that shift in laying multiple colors down. I'm very happy. I think that these again are well worth it. I cannot wait to try more of these shades. I have to say they went on very smoothly. They're very pigmented. There wasn't anything that I felt like I had to struggle with patchiness wise. I will say that I felt like when I used the salamander shade for that build your own palette, it took a while to build up, but honestly, I think that that was because of the base that I put down. I put a glitter glue down and I feel like it interrupted the formula a little bit. I like this much better just using a dampened brush. So keep that in mind, but do whatever you choose. But I find that I like a dampened brush better. So I personally, next time, and I didn't have an eye base on, by the way, when I did this video, probably should have said that in the beginning. I didn't have an eye base, I just had a bit of concealer down, but I would probably go through with my Urban Decay Eden primer because I feel like that primer doesn't disrupt, it doesn't make shadows like more wet or more tacky. It doesn't dry completely down, like it still has a little like to it, but it isn't like wet. And I actually use the Glam Glue from Glam Shop, and this one definitely has that like more wet feeling. So in the future, this is probably how I'll use it, is just with a wet brush. So little tip, hopefully that helps you guys out. And let me know, did you grab anything from the CLIONADH restock? I'd love to know. There were a couple more bundles that I had my eye on. I'm glad I like pumped the brakes, not because I'm not happy, but just because a girl only needs so many eyeshadows at a time. Let's be real. I'm definitely going to have to consider getting a few more shades in the Black Friday sales. That's actually, well, maybe it wasn't Black Friday, but the last restock, maybe it was Black Friday. Anyway, Kara from Beauty and the Frizz, she had gotten the Alchemy bundle perhaps, or no, the Ultra Metallic. I don't know. She got a bundle of the round pans, and when I saw her swatch those, I was like, oh, I missed out. So I was very glad when they did this restock to be able to grab some of these shades. And again, if now you're doing the same thing, you've seen swatches and you don't want to miss out, I will make sure that the CLIONADH website is linked down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, playing with some eyeshadow, and joining in on this swatch party. If you did like this video, please give it a like. It does help me out, and I will see you really soon.